Back again to do the Gemini twin flame update. Those of you who are here still, thank you. If you're wanting to make a booking, you can go to the link directly below. The other channel I have, which is Twin Flame Alchemist to Union, is going to be changed. It's going to, hopefully when I have time, I'm going to add numerology, twin flame path, tools and things to that degree. So the channel's still going to be relevant, but I'm going to change the dynamic of it. So we're going to have twin flame videos at Yildiz readings, and we're also going to have, what do you call it? Your general love reads as well, and your general life. So you're going to have several videos, but I'm trying to get the balance back for it during Mercury retrograde, which is super fun. I'm trying. It's funny because we do question the journey, and it's interesting that, you know, we will always trigger the karmics, and any tests that come towards you, it makes me amused, especially when they think you can't handle things. I mean, when we were going through our transition in 2017, I was running the business. I was looking after my daughter, helping my children. We can't make it, they're fools. It's like, this shit should be a walk in the park, right? Walk in the park, whatever. Just smile. You're like, yeah. And as my twin said, I'm the only one that will put up with this crap, because we know each other. Now, let's get on to what's going on with you guys. Okay, Gemini. Mars at the moment is in your 6th and the 11th house. Go and Google that and have a look. Obviously, when I do them separate and I relate to them, I'll have the charts and I can explain what that directly correlates with. Your Mars frequency in Aries will be in those two houses. Your Mercury at the moment is in your self house. So it's all about yourself and what's going on. The way you communicate, the way people perceive you, the way you interact with people. So it's in your 1st house. It's also in your 6th house, which is interesting because Mars is also in your 6th house. You've got Chiron at the moment, which is again the Aries frequency, in your 7th, 8th, 9th, and 11th house. So again, go and look at those, and they're going to directly correlate with what you're going to be dealing with. Now, Chiron's for a while, so you can look at that. We also have the Taurus frequency coming through in Uranus is in your 9th and 12th house, and that will be for the entirety of the year. So any of that energy will directly be relevant towards you. Obviously, the other aspects will be very separate, but those are the houses that at a spiritual level of where you're going to grow, that's really the houses that are going to come up for you loud and clear for those transformations to come about, and what your spiritual energy is going into that, you know, whether it be a purge, a release, a bring in, a manifestation. And again, be very mindful that when your Kundalini starts heating up, it does mean that you're going through a mass transformation. So it can be purging, it can be owning your power, getting into that frequency. So when you're going through those dynamics, it is a transitional point. You're having your upgrade. So you can get an aspect of similar things to ascension flu. Just be gentle with yourself, because you guys are really going to be on fire this year, but you're having some major shifts. You had a lot of adversity last year, but I don't know what zodiac sign that didn't. But when it came to the self house, which is really interesting, there was a lot going on there for you guys last year. So, you know, be it your twins are Gemini or, you know, it's in your rising sign. It's interesting because I'm on the cusp of that with Cancer and Gemini. So, you know, I don't really think about it, but this is directly probably relevant to me as well. You know, it's a transformation. So there may have been adversity in the way you perceived yourself and, you know, judgment coming towards you. And it's really come 360, and it can be coming towards you at the moment. And you're like, oh, back off. You know, this is my plate. That's your plate. And really getting people to take direct accountability and to stay on their side of the fence has been pretty problematic for you guys. You have a big plan, getting it together. Again, you're going to have to be very pragmatic, work through that. We can still achieve during Mercury retrograde. It just feels really hard work and you get really tired. What is working for you at the moment, energetically, for those of you that are Gemini twin flames, is working towards your happiness, okay? Really focusing on what makes you happy. That's really what's assisting you right now. So if you're getting triggered, shift back to your truth. What makes you happy? You know, it can be that it's not completely in alignment, but it's your end goal. It's what you're wanting to celebrate. That is your truth. Keep going back to that. Causing pain for others would attract pain for me. So what's working for you is, okay, if people are bringing BS to you, come back and go, wow, okay, you're projecting that at me. This is a you thing. You're getting triggered by me. This is a you thing. It's like ping pong. This month is like bloody ping pong. It's like the deflection, reflection, and projection that's going on is massive. It feels like a spiritual attack. The only way you're going to keep your Navman going is by focusing on the bigger picture. So when you get triggered, it's bloody hard, I know. You got to go, do you know what? If I'm triggering you and there's this much bloody toxicity coming towards me, I must be doing something right. Because I'm not budging. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying in my truth. And it's showing that, okay? So people's BS is going to come towards you and you're going to be like, listen, Linda, no. Keep focusing on that. It's the only thing that's going to keep you sane this month, mid-month, okay? And that's really the way I've had to look at it, especially with karmic energies in both my twin and my life. The energies and the projection that has come towards us collectively every time we've come into reunion, union, whatever you want to talk about, has been very interesting. You've got to get to the point where you understand the trigger points, the attitudes. Laugh it off. Laugh it off and go, I'm not giving my power away. You want to sabotage, you can do that all of your own accord because you're lower frequency. God bless. Let them do it. Try not to take it personally. But you may have times where you do have to verbalize, this is the boundary. And you can't change what the other dynamics are going to be or what the outcome's going to be. But you must always get to a point where you assess the situation, you tune into it, how am I going to directly deal with this? And you'll find, interestingly enough, although for me, very separately to Gemini, dealing with that journey, I have found this month, very interestingly so, being the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn, again, I will incorporate both of those when I do talk about the aspects of the astrology. Dealing with our family, our base chakra, our foundation, old energies, mother, father energy, feminine energies. Feminines are off the Richter scale at the moment. So we're either ready to blow like Kesha or, you know, and especially it's very hard for those of us who have done a lot of work. We do look at it and we're going, look, I'm not going to be dealing with this. I'm being very patient in my higher consciousness, but you are literally pulling the pea. But interestingly enough, what I've found on my side of the fence, the way I've related to things is far nicer than perhaps I would have been many moons ago. So, you know, it's really, you will find yourself being quite surprised by the way you are communicating during Mercury retrograde, and then you're trying to remove yourself from the conflict and step back to avoid any more than necessary. So assessing those situations and going, oh, I could go lower frequency here and I would actually really cause tower moments. You're doing that yourself, so let me just step back and let you do that. What's blocking Gemini at the moment is the fact that, okay, and this isn't working for you guys, is feeling you have to sacrifice your truth. You don't have to. It's not a you problem, it's a them problem. And so although when you're communicating, you're taking into mind that you need to make a sacrifice, you actually don't have to. And this is what the energies around you that are projecting towards you need to understand. You keeping balanced is what's helping them. But by them actually getting to a point where they think that they've got power over you, you can be sitting back like a donkey and taking it. You don't have to. So they need to be very careful. And it may be that a point that you actually do need to use your throat chakra and say, you know what, sod it, I don't have to do this. So I do see that coming through for you guys at the moment. Hi, Nat. Love ya. Okay, so causing pain for others would attract pain for me. True. So you're in your higher consciousness. You get that. But they're trying to cause pain to you. You're making a sacrifice because you get it. You're the enlightened one. And a lot of us are questioning, you know, when we've done the work on ourselves and we are spiritual, we kind of get to a point you're thinking, you know, we have to understand their side of the fence. We've got to hold on for grim death till the end of it. And we're just going to put up with their crap till we make it through. You don't have to. Because even if you thought that was this or that could come in, this or that might not come in. Everything could turn out perfectly, or they could bring their tower down. And that whole picture is going to look totally different. So if you're needing to own your power, what won't work for you is not. You must create healthy boundaries. If you're scared you're going to lose your twin, it's disrespecting yourself. You have to come back to self, because you can't shift your energy for other people's needs. You must keep your compass correct. You must be, look, that doesn't work for me, I'm sorry. And I can't help that these people are lower frequency, but that doesn't work for me, I'm sorry. Compassion, understanding, logic, sweet. BS, no time for that. We're moving forward. Okay. At an emotional or at a financial level for Gemini, what is working for you? Making healthy choices. Assess the people around you. Are they there because they want you? Are they there because they're using you? You know, in your higher consciousness, you guys are super intuitive. Let me check if the 12th house has come up for you guys. Okay, your spirituality, the 12th house. It's where cheating and discord has come from. Who has buggered you over? Spiritually speaking, are you willing to sell your soul to the devil? You know, are these people who are toxic in your life? And it's a lot of, I hear at the moment, with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn for the whole year, you've got to think of the Cancerian energy. It's very family orientated. It's very compassionate. It's the waters. It's the emotions. Capricorn, very rigid, very straight to the point. Those energies all of us collectively are picking up. So they're the attitudes we're taking on when we're assessing our life moving forward. When that's coming up, what you're going to find is, when it comes to your money, it's like, no, it's give and bloody take. And if you're not giving to me, I'm not buying what you're selling, Linda. I'm not. I am not your bank. I have self-worth. I love myself. I respect myself. And unless you're coming to me halfway, meet me halfway. You're not meeting me halfway? Okay, well, I'm not losing anything because I'm not getting anything. Taking accountability. So what is working for you is seeing the truth of situations. It doesn't mean to say you're going to directly act on it at the moment, but it can be a time frame where it's make or break. You know, if you have a spiritual connection with a person, it's going to be there forever. Even if it breaks, it comes back again. That's the way it goes. But, you know, get the balance in that and getting back on your compass, but remembering the end goal, especially with what is working with you, is looking at the bigger picture. Okay, what do I want? Where do I want my life to go within this spiritual connection? What do I want the end result to be? Making good choices. Let's do this correctly. Let's do this the right way. What's blocking that? You've got to work with a person who's ready to work with you, okay? What isn't working with you is going down, dealing with people that aren't emotionally fulfilling you, that do not want to work with you. So if you're trying to make up for their shortfalls, and this can be external influences pulling you, pushing you, telling you what you should do, and it can even be directly connected to your spiritual connection, telling you what you should and shouldn't do, that won't work. And what is blocking you is actually not looking at that and feeling, and it could be that you guys are doing a bit of work and you're saying, oh, you know, but it's I'm seeing the surface level. I'm seeing that there is energy where things are trying to get in order, and that's what's blocking it. But by you pressing pause is not going to work, because that's staying backwards. The energies around you of the karmic level, so it can be exes, it can be mothers with kids, it can be fathers with kids, whoever that is that's causing conflict in your road, Gemini, knowing that you can't push the pause button for them to catch up. They need to catch up. And if they can't, they get left behind. But if you're having too much compassion to that situation, it's going to hold you back. But again, causing pain for others would attract pain for you. True. My every thought is attracting its vibrational essence. Now, this is connected to the block, so you didn't attract this. And this has come through for every zodiac sign. You cannot be accountable for another person's actions. You can't. We can feel that, and vibrationally we get stuck, and then we're like, we created that. No, we didn't. We can trigger that. We don't have that steering wheel. That is their frequency. So we can say, if we save that person, they'll be safe. No, they won't, because if they were halfway there, that was where their energy was, and they weren't doing the work on their side of the fence. So, you know, one could get to a point where we're triggered, and I've had 3 nervous breakdowns in my life, and I've had to do a lot of spiritual work. When we have that cry for help, we must reach out, and reaching out to professionals, reaching out to the point, or looking at the situations, because 9 times out of 10 when we get there, it's because of people's expectations. What does everyone want me to be? Why am I doing this for everybody else? Have I stopped and actually asked myself what I want to be? Who am I? Am I in love with who I am? Do I forgive myself for my past? Am I accepting of what my wishes are, even if people don't agree with it? What do I want to be in my future, and what am I willing to do to move that forward, regardless of people's opinions? Because when we're doing things that don't make us feel good all the time, that's where the panic attacks come from. That's where the lack of balance comes from. And March is horrendous for that. The astrology is horrendous for that. So it can be a lot of panic attacks that we're experiencing. It can be anxiety. It can be we feel that people are trying to change us. A lot of projection back and forward in partnerships, or even directly connected to your spiritual connection. So it's having the patience with just this energy for March to make it through so that we can get to the other side. But people are really going to test you. Now, if you do have children yourself, or you're dealing with an energy that is a karmic, and it can be an ex with children, and you know, you're looking at your spiritual connection, this can be them or you, whoever the Gemini is. And again, it can cross-reference. Again, they're looking at, and this come up in the last reading, the troubles, the delays, the trying to end that cycle, the upheaval. Like it, even if something looks toxic, it's not negative. Sometimes being suppressed by a situation liberates you. So we do tend to get into our ego. And again, as I mentioned, we've got the sun energy in Pisces. Now, the sun is all directly connected to our third eye, which is where we psychically see and when we're overthinking things. So in the lower frequency, it's where spinning shit in our head and we're telling ourselves how things are going to be. In the higher frequency, we see the bigger picture away from ego, and potentially our scary things that have happened in our past, we're not letting that navigate truth. So we're seeing things correctly. When it comes to children in your connection, however it be, or family members, siblings, sisters, brothers, or your spiritual connection moving forward, this can be where we are seeing trouble. Now, if you're in your pain body experience, the sun in the ego in Pisces, it's very analytical and emotional. So we can be getting triggered and spinning stories in our head. The moon in Aries can be very aggressive. Chiron, which is the wound energy, which is, it's here till 2022, 23, I believe. The wound experience that has been coming up probably since 2016. As we grow, we change, so we deal with it better. Now that it's transferred over to the zodiac sign of Aries for all of us collectively, the way we deal with our pain is, before you've even dealt with it, it's like you have another situation coming up, another situation coming up. So you don't have any time, and you can be more direct and very practical about, look, this is what needs to happen. So it can be a very aggressive energy because it's fire frequency. So with family, you can see the troubles, okay? But it's working for you because you're seeing it, but live it in for a little bit. If you are stuck in a dynamic and on with you in the family region, the base chakra, which is, it can be your home environment, it can be a relationship you're in, or your spiritual connection, their side, your side. The troubles that you're seeing in any suppressed energy is there to break you, to liberate you. So you can actually see you do have power in this situation. So it's actually giving you Because we tend to look at it and go, oh my God, you know, we're being punished. God doesn't love me. It's like, no, you're being shown that you have power. What are you going to do about it? How much can you take on these shoulders before it cracks? And if it does, and you get really angry and say, no, I'm worth more than this, that will benefit you. Now, what isn't working for you is people manipulating you. See where these people are manipulating you. Do not give your power away. Call them out. No, I'll do this for you if you do that for me. That's give and take grasp. But if someone's trying to do a transaction with you, again, Mercury retrograde, real shitty for contracts. Don't trust situations with finance. Be very careful with finance. Read the fine print. Don't negotiate with people. Be careful. Because there's manipulation directly connected to assets. There's manipulation, and it can be connected to the children, where people are saying, I need this for them, or I need this for me. And, you know, it's very me energy coming through. Be careful with that frequency. Life is supposed to be good for me. You're thinking you're cursed, and that's probably why I was feeling the God energy, you know. And again, it all depends on who you are spiritually. It could be Buddha, it could be Allah, whatever your spiritual connection is in your higher consciousness. What you're going to find is if you're doing this against the grain and you are in your pain body experience, and when I say pain body, it's all the things and wounds you had from your life. So what happens is we get the trigger point and we're like, I'm having a panic attack now because the situation's come up and I've lived this before. You're thinking you're cursed. It's not. It's all about a lesson you needed to learn about getting your power back, seeing the truth of situations, not going into victim mode and saying, I have to do something or this is going to be the same forever. And then that isn't universe's fault. That's your fault because you've done nothing to change that. But if it means you're saying, I'm not strong enough, I can't go on anymore, well, universe is going to keep pulling you down to a point you hit rock bottom because it's your ego governing you. If I change this dynamic, I won't be safe, but that environment's not safe because it's showing you the toxicity. So if you wish to live like that, yes, but you can't then give your power away and say, universe has done this to me because, you know, it just keeps happening. It keeps happening because a lesson was needed to learn for you to take your power back, to know that that's not in fact true. We can't go back in time and we can't change the past, but we can correct ourselves and what we have left in our life to a point we can move forward and have something for ourselves. And you're entitled to that. You must have self-love. Look at yourself as a cup and keep filling that cup. You know, my daughter said to me the other day, she goes, you have your partner, he has his kids. And I said, well, he has me too, and you have me too. But I have my boyfriend, and if I don't have him, I have nothing. Incorrect. We do not have anything unless we are full ourselves. If we don't know who we are, what we will and won't take, what our hopes and dreams are, we are adversely living through a person, and that's codependency. And they can't give you your dreams, and then suddenly it won't feel right, and we'll be going, why do we feel so empty? Because they can't be you. You're beautiful. You need to be you. Other people, how they're influencing you. They're trying to isolate you, okay? And again, what is working for you, this is interesting, is the isolation. So if you're going into hermit mode and they're impacting you, it can be at a high vibration or lower. It can be you're going into hermit mode. But you can't be there forever. Problems still will arise in family, in your home environment of what you need to change. It might be you're looking for a home. It may be you're needing transport. It might be a job. Whatever that be that's coming up for you. It might be you're feeling vibrationally you're in a very toxic relationship and you need to get out. It could be that you're moving towards the love of your life. And what do you need to do? Oh, but God, they hurt me in the past, so it's going to be the same again. No, it's not. Only if you're the same person. If you're not the same person, bloody oath, it's going to be the same. But if you've created healthy boundaries and you've liberated yourself, it will never be the same again. People don't own us. We can have expectations, and that's not control. We can say, look, that does not make me feel comfortable, and you can stay or you can go, but this is my personal belief. This is my need. I'm not controlling you. I'm stating my position. Healthy boundaries. Relationships are give and take, right? But when we are at lower frequency, what happens is everyone needs upon you and bleeds you senseless, and then your spiritual connection sacrificed. But moreover, you're sacrificed because you're not being given the right to actually say, hey, this affects me. We're in a partnership. Healthy boundaries, balance. So anything of a manipulation factor and you being isolated and not being able to have connections, not being able to have hopes and dreams, although you may be feeling that universe is punishing you, it's liberating you. And this is a good time to assess it. What isn't working for you is the overall stress. So again, I do state, by being in a toxic situation, you will, like an egg, crack. And you have two choices at that point. You will then fight for your right, not to party, to live, although there is party here. And you'll say, no, I have some needs. And again, this energy always comes up. It's like, oh, we thought we'd have time to resolve these situations. You don't, because then it looks like a shit show and you've got to clean the mess up. But it is what it is, and we can't change that because it's too late. It formed from a manifestation because it was our belief system of what we were worth. So now what's going on? These stresses that are in your life are showing you what isn't working. And we can say, how is this falling in the positive position? Because you now have an opportunity to choose whether you want to live that way. The World card moving means a karmic ending. Are you going to keep repeating a pattern? Again, frequency from 2010 is coming up. What were you doing in 2010? Do you want to bring some of that energy back into your life? Do you want to repeat the cycle and live there permanently? Or do you want to dissolve it, take what does and doesn't work, shift out what doesn't, move forward and build on what does? Do it right. What you're not seeing is that by you being strong, you can have the happiest life ever. By you being brave to call this situation out and say, hey, my manifestations are indicators of my belief. So if you feel, oh, I keep getting penny little, the world's falling down and I keep getting a shit show, it's because you manifested it, because it was your belief system. A belief is only a thought I keep thinking. You know, you don't understand how strong your thoughts are. When you're saying, I've got a problem, you're recreating problems. When you say, I don't have enough money, you're actually creating that. If you can just look tunnel vision for just a minute and say, okay, I have X, Y, and Z problem. I don't know how I'm going to solve it, but I trust that universe, God, source, Allah, whoever you want to call it, is going to provide me on my path with a solution. And it can be even when you're in a very toxic situation, you're going, and it can be, you know, look back for those of you who've had children. Oh, how am I going to do this? Am I going to have the finances? And you just do. Look at when you've been in a toxic relationship and you've gone, God, I want to get out, but I need to get some money. I need to get bond for a house. I need to do this and that. And then one day it just breaks and you're like, bugger it, I'm out. Whatever you're directly dealing with that's coming towards you, that is going to show you what is working, what isn't working, what you're doing, you don't want right now. It's not bad. Don't panic, because you can either fix it, you can either manifest it, but you need to get back to your mind. Are you speaking to yourself respectfully? You know, the self-love that we were dealing with last year, it was a lot of wounds, so it was really emotional. It was a lot of looking at our childhood, looking at our future, looking at where our relationships didn't work, looking at our spiritual connection, what didn't work. Now you're coming to a head where it's like, do I want to die doing this? Now, die doing toxic as crap, okay? Because you're better than that. You've got more to do. Check in with your thoughts. Start speaking to yourself loving. Disconnect from any crap your mother, your father said to you. That was, hey, you're a no-hoper, or you can't do this, or you can't do that. Whatever those painful memories were, they don't define you. But by repeating them into your head, you're allowing them to define you. Therefore, you're co-creating your future moving forward. Trying to shift paperwork around. Okay. There's going to be a change of plans within your spiritual connection. Beneficial beliefs feel better when I think them. So again, change your thought. Again, I'm saying sun energy, moon energy, you can manifest. What do you want? Know what you want. Don't think of, okay, I want that, but it means I'm going to have to do X, Y, and Z. No, just focus on the final outcome. That's where I want to be. And any little step I can take to make that happen, whether it take 20 years, a week, a day, it doesn't matter. You're one step closer. Stop getting triggered by being left out in the cold, because it's preventing you from living a perfect life, because you're saying that's all you're deserving. When I reconnect with this person, that's all that's going to happen. Well, you're recreating that story. Whenever I'm in a relationship, I feel like I'm just not respected, not loved, not appreciated. Everyone wants to take my cup, and the cup is like, and it's interesting because what's going on with Geminis is you're getting to a point where you're like, I've got to fill my cup, because they're not the enemy, you're being the enemy. Okay? You fill your cup, stop sharing it with people that don't deserve it. Fill your cup. You're okay to fill your cup. You're not a bad person if you need to make yourself happy. But don't be angry at them, because we attract things, right? Everything is always working out for me. Look at it. Where are you? You know, you might have some food on your table. You might have even a friend, and you might not be in contact with them, but you still have a friend. But you got yourself, and you've got to see that. You know, we do tend to look outside of ourselves. Priestess Gorgeous says a man's not a plan, a woman's not a plan, because we're not each other's island, but we have to be our own. We need to have things that make us happy, but we also have to, while we're in relationships, have give and take. And we can be angry when there's no give and take in that. And that's not about codependency. That's about, hey, if I'm giving you this, it's give and take. If you're working with me, it's give and take. If you're not, I'm going to be pissed. I mean, I'm a real cow these days, but I'm not mean. But it's give and take. You know, having respect that they have their own hopes and dreams, but you have your own hopes and dreams too. So do not feel guilty with that. You want the balance. You're tired of no balance. You're wanting bloody balance back. You're tired of the swords and the BS. People have stabbed you in the back. You're sick of it. So if this balance doesn't come about, I do feel the whole energy coming through this place is about to blow. You'll blow your stack, because you'll be going, right, you're not hearing me. I've tried to talk your language. I've tried to negotiate. I've given my power away, and I've handed it all over to you. You've steered the ship into the bloody hill, and now I'm looking at you saying, shit, why am I angry with them? I should be angry at you. Now I'm going to say, hey, do you want me to make a decision? Are you going to let me be who I am? Do you want to hear the wrath of my Titan? Otherwise, I'm not going to live with these swords in my back. I'm tired of it. It's ascension. It's us getting to a point. It's like, no, we're not doing the same here. And if we're doing the same, chuck a left. And the left isn't for you. It's for the energies that are coming into your life that are toxic. Beyonce, to the left. Get your stuff and go. Love and light. I'll come back and I will do Taurus next